Hey everyone, and welcome back to the Path to Purpose podcast. My name is Kieran Williams, and today I'm going to be talking about the differences between being lonely and alone. Even though they both sound the same, they're actually both completely different. And I felt inspired to talk about this today because I was recently speaking to a friend who helped me to spark up this topic. And this topic revolves around traveling, and I wanted to make a point about how it's helped me transition from feeling like I was lonely to being content and at peace with being alone. There was a period of time in my life where I would always feel lonely, and for me, loneliness comes from not being around people that had the same interests as me. So I felt out of place because I wasn't doing the things that my friends or other people would typically do. So I went for a long period of time where I felt like a bit of an outsider and I wasn't happy within myself. So I felt like I needed external validation from other people in order to not feel so lonely. I would do things that didn't fully align with my interests, but I would do them anyway for the sake of not being so lonely, in the hope that maybe it would make me feel better. And of course, for a time, it did make me feel satisfied, but the reality is that it was only a temporary feeling. I still wasn't doing the things that were in line with what I actually wanted to be doing with my life. So when I started traveling, and I was traveling solo in 2019, this became such a huge transition for me from being lonely to being content with being alone. And I've expressed my traveling in 2019 quite a lot in my episodes, but that's because of how significant this period of time in my life really was for me. It was the beginning of something so huge and life-changing that essentially put me on this journey that I'm on today. When I was traveling, I learnt to appreciate and feel happiness with being with myself, and it took me a while to come back to this conclusion that when I was booking my first solo trip, I felt hesitant because I didn't think I could travel alone. I always used to feel like I needed to rely on other people to do things with me in order for something to work. And when I realised that it was just a comfort zone thing, and that actually travelling solo would allow me to be more independent, to be happier within myself, without actually looking for external validation or satisfaction with being with other people, it's through solo travel that I actually learned the true meaning of how important it is to love yourself and to love being with yourself, to value yourself and to always be there for you if no one else can be. It's so important to connect with yourself, and we often neglect ourselves because we don't really see ourselves often. We're always seeing things from a first person perspective. We always see other people, and of course we always direct our energy to other people, so it's natural for us to want to love other people and be there for other people and care for other people, but we always forget that we're also a person that needs the same self-care. And that's why I think that it's sometimes hard for us to not feel lonely, because when we're giving to others all the time, of course, we feel good about it and they feel good about it. But when we realise that other people aren't around us, like if we're in a quiet period of our lives, or maybe we're busy or someone else is busy, sometimes it's very easy for us to feel lonely. And it's during that period that you need to go within and reflect on yourself to see why it is that you feel that way. And in the beginning, this experience was so scary when I was travelling. But now it's just something that I can do easily, and it's something I love to do, and it's actually quite addictive. I love to travel on my own with my camera and see the world, explore new places, and I actually find it quite peaceful. And that's because I believe I've worked on myself a lot, and I fully accept myself for who I am. And I'm of course still working on myself every day, but I feel so much more at peace with myself now that I have my independence. And this is something that I would definitely recommend you to think about if you've ever wanted to solo travel and see the world. Now could be your time to make that change and really see if this is something that you want to do and that you're ready to do. The only way you can truly know is by going and doing it. Let go of all your fears and really step out of your comfort zone. I have got a few other previous episodes that can help you with this as well. If you want to learn more about my travel experiences and stepping out of your comfort zone, you can go back and listen to episode 2, which is titled How I Started Traveling Solo. and episode 6, which is called The Power of Action, and then episode 21, which was my last episode that I released, and that's titled Intention versus Expectation. So just to summarize again on the differences between the two, loneliness is when you could be feeling abandoned and you find it challenging to accept the feeling of being isolated, whereas being alone is more about being happy with where you are and at peace with your own independence and feeling content with your own presence without the need for external validation or other people's company. So loneliness is more of an external need for something to feel secure, whereas being alone is more internal and without the expectation of having someone there to fill what is missing in your life. And with practice, if you're feeling lonely, you can start by working on enjoying your own company, tuning into yourself more, and maybe practice more meditations, go out for more walks on your own and be kind to yourself, talk to yourself more, feed yourself the right foods and take care of yourself, and take yourself on a trip somewhere beautiful and show yourself to the world. This is something that can really help you, and it's something that's really helped me too. But as always, thank you so much for listening to today's episode. I'm going to end it here, but I hope that there is something that you can take away from this episode today to help you on your journey, or should I say on your path to purpose. But as always, thank you for listening, and I will catch you all in the next episode.